My name's Oliver Bridge and I'm the founder and CEO of Cornerstone. Cornerstone sells men's shaving products and toiletries on a subscription model over the web. My first business was called biggerfeet.com and I started it when I was age 15, and it was an online retailer of big shoes inspired by my own big feet. And it started in my bedroom, and I think our startup costs were a couple of £1,000s, and that was funded from money I'd made doing part-time jobs. And my parents also lent me, I think, £2,000 at the time. So pretty humble beginnings, and then we grew, I guess, using profits from there on. My second business was called Cornerstone, is called Cornerstone. That was funded using, again, my own savings. I was 23 when I incorporated the company, so I had a little bit more cash saved up than when I started Bigger Feet. But I also got a £5,000 startup loan to kind of kick us off. And then with that initial seed capital, we bought products, we built the website, we did a few bits and bobs like trademarks and company registrations. And then we raised this seed round from angel investors using SEIS. Did anybody say no when I applied for money? Yes, absolutely. Crikey, where to start? I mean, my first venture was called Bigger Feet, and the money came from partly my savings, partly from my parents. So there was nobody saying no then, thankfully. But when I started Cornerstone, that was going to require much more money. So to launch a business that sells physical products like we do, such as razors or shaving gel, there's large minimum order requirements from manufacturers. So just to get the business off the ground, we needed at least £100,000. So it started, I guess, right at the beginning with my own savings. And then I raised a startup loan. But even getting the startup loan was difficult because most of the companies who raise startup loans are very small businesses that are expected to become profitable. Our plan was to basically run at a loss for several years. And in fact, we're still loss making to fund kind of rapid growth. And that made them pretty uncomfortable. So we had to push really hard to get the startup loans company on board even at the beginning. So that wasn't even easy to kind of get that initial money in. And then from there, we've then raised money from private investors, and that has involved lots of no's. So today we've got about 250 shareholders, partly because we've done raised money through crowdfunding. I would estimate I probably met 2,000 or 3,000 investors over the last 2, 3, 4 years. So there's probably a 1 in 10 success rate. So lots of no's for every yes. There's pretty tough days as an entrepreneur. It's not all rainbows and sunshine, particularly when you're getting constant no's or things are very, very difficult. I think the thing that kind of powers you through is belief in the vision that where you're going to. So in our world of subscription men's toiletries, we think that the process of buying toiletries in the shops is just a really boring, unfulfilling experience for men, and that if we do our job properly, we can put the big retailers like Boots potentially out of business one day from their men's department. So that kind of keeps driving you on even when you are getting a bit of difficulty day to day. But yeah, for sure, it's not an easy journey, and there's plenty of times where you think, crikey, why have I let myself in for this? But overall, it is a really energizing experience running your own business. A big milestone for us was deciding to raise money from crowdfunding. So in summer 2015, we decided we wanted to raise £500,000, and we could have gone to venture capital investors or perhaps tried to get a loan or something like that. And we decided actually we wanted to bring on board lots and lots of shareholders. Because we thought it was really quite a cool idea that our customers could potentially own a small part of the business. But we also wanted to, I guess, have a fan base of hundreds of investors who could potentially go out there and fly the flag for Cornerstone. And crowdfunding is a tremendous amount of work because you're asking people who you've never met and you probably never will meet to give you their hard-earned money. So there's a lot of responsibility and trust involved. But also the nature of the crowdfunding websites is that you are on public display. There are Q&A forums where any member of the public effectively can ask you questions about your business. And if you don't answer it succintly and convincingly within a few hours, that starts to set hairs running amongst everyone else that's kind of watching, waiting for an answer. So it was an awful lot of work, but in hindsight, it worked tremendously well. So we raised our £500,000 target in 48 hours, which was great. And then based on the momentum of that, we said, well, let's go and raise some more. And we raised nearly £1 million over a month. So looking back on that journey, we ended up with nearly 300 shareholders, £1 million, and lots of PR and publicity. And yeah, that was a fork in the road where I kind of looked back and said, that was the right decision actually. The best advice I've had in terms of fundraising was to be careful who you take money from. So as an entrepreneur trying to build a high growth business, the tendency and the temptation is to take whatever money's on offer because you just want to grow as fast as you can. The reality is that building and scaling a business can take years, 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 years. And taking money from someone and having a kind of business relationship with someone that doesn't share your values or your vision, that starts to present a strain after many years working together. And there's been a few people along the way who we've decided that we didn't want to take money from, we didn't want to work with. And in hindsight, we've dodged a few bullets. So definitely good advice. A startup raising finance, there's lots of different routes to go, and ultimately it depends on a couple of things. One of which is, do you have a level of comfort with not owning the whole business? If you're building a business that you want to fully control, fully own, and potentially for it to be a lifestyle business where you can eventually work 2 days a week and work part-time and it's relaxing to run that business, you do not want to be getting on external equity shareholders because it just creates conflicts if you want to turn it into a lifestyle business. So for that kind of person whose ambition is to build a comfortable lifestyle business, I would look at things like startup loans or grants, or just good old-fashioned using your own savings to get the business going. And ultimately, if you're going to turn it into a lifestyle business, it may become profitable earlier than another type of business, in which case you can fund it from profits. If you're much like Cornerstone, seeking to scale the business very, very quickly and profit takes a sort of secondary importance, then your options are broader. So you can, much like we did, you can get started on your savings and a startup loan and grants and that kind of stuff. But in order to seriously scale the business, you need to raise serious capital, and often that can only really come from equity investors like crowdfunding, angels, venture capital, etc. So to give you a sense, we've gone from 0 turnover to this year projecting just shy of 10 million turnover in 3.5 years. Very, very hard to do that without raising external capital. Whereas if you were building a business, perhaps a fish and chip van, where you expected to make a profit in year 1, you could do that without raising venture capital. So I think it all depends on the kind of business you want to build. The Business Finance Guide is actually a great place to start. It's a pretty thorough overview of all the different funding sources, and it also splits it out by the stage of growth you're at. So talks you through what might be relevant for you at your particular point in the cycle. As always, a great backup if you can't get your hands on that is just to go on Google. There are lots and lots of websites and lots of successful entrepreneurs posting their thoughts and experiences on how to raise money. Ultimately, in my experience, reading's great, but actually you can't beat getting out there and talking to people and talking to other people in the business you're in or at the similar stage of growth you're in. So I think do your research, but get out and meet people to really understand how it's done.